Hello, welcome to Starchaeology Tarot. This is a pick-a-pile, timeless tarot reading that will hopefully give you whatever it is you need to hear right now. So I want you to take a moment and choose the pile that calls to you first. Maybe it's already happened. If it has, do not second guess that. Honor your instinct here. If you have yet to decide, try your best to clear your mind, empty your thoughts, and see which pile calls to you. This is pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Using the timestamps below, you can skip to your pile's reading whenever you're ready. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your timeless tarot reading of what you need to hear right now. You chose the celestite, this beautiful crystal, light blue. Set that, actually I'll put it right here so it's still visible. Let's see what messages Spirit has for you at this precise moment in time whenever you are finding this reading. It's the right time for you to find it when you find it. What are the messages for pile 1? Knight of Cups. Come on. Let's see what flies out here. Messages for pile 1. There's a lot of cards. I'm not going to honor that. It's too many cards. What are the messages for pile 1? What does pile 1 need to hear right now that will best align them with their highest self, their highest good, their highest path? Whoa. Okay, we'll honor these. So we have Six of Cups, Knight of Wands, double knight. And this I will put on, wow, okay. Let's just start with this pile 1. So, you're in a position right now, pile 1, where you are living in your head right now. Or some of you living in your heart, maybe that's a better way to put it. You're living in wherever your creative power lies, whether that is your mind that is creating stories or your heart is creating fantasies. You find yourself living in this internal landscape more so than your physical world. This internal world feels more real to you now than your physical world. Some of you, this is how you go about pursuing your dreams, is actually getting lost in the dreams themselves. You feel you're so invested in these dreams that you move more and more inside yourself, as if that is progress. And in a way, it is. There are so many people who are not doing this, who fail to explore the nooks and crannies of their inner world, have that inner adventure, and then their outer world has nothing to reflect because their inner world is so empty. You are doing this very well. Some of you are exhibiting this in your real outer world. For example, you are adventuring in some way, but it is very much an adventure that is like a flight of fancy. It's just kind of being whipped around wherever your heart is taking you, with little regard for rationale, logic, planning. And in a way, that's just another version of kind of having a lot of energy being put into your heart adventure, your inner adventure, whether it really is completely internal or it is external. It's an adventure of the heart, and it may not be translating into the tangible physical results that you would like to be seeing. Some of you you're in hot pursuit of a love interest. You're crushing on somebody, and you find that they are consuming so much of your time and energy. Others of you, what you're crushing on is a dream. It's a career mission. It's a creative purpose that you have. It's kind of a dream life for yourself that you really feel consumed by. Now, what is blocking you from taking this, from moving this adventure to one that is either completely internal or maybe somewhat external, but not actually resulting in anything real? What is keeping you from making this real, making this pursuit real, is this Six of Cups, which also was reversed, and I don't even usually work with reversals, and this came out reversed, which I think is really significant, which tells me that there is some sort of block that you have regarding something in your past. I think some of you are looking at your past as a limit to your future. You you have this fantasy, you have this dream, this dream adventure you're pursuing, and you're looking so far forward at it. You really are getting lost in the potential of it. Ironically, it is this anchoring in the past, this super focus on some past obstacle or past experience that makes you think you cannot have this. It makes you think that you aren't enough to have this. You can't do enough to have this. And this can be a belief about yourself, pile one, something in your past that led you to believe something about yourself that is now proving to be a false, limiting belief. It could be a person in your past. It could be someone in your past whose voice still holds immense power over you, even if they aren't in your life anymore. Whatever it is, what I'm seeing is that there was one way to process this past event, to process it in a way that was healthy, life-affirming, opened your world up. For whatever reason, you have processed this event or this condition of your childhood or of your past in a way that has made you closed, that has stopped you up, stopped your creativity up, maybe stopped up your imagination, your ability to envision for yourself the kind of things that you deserve. Something about your past, your childhood, needs to be turned like a valve so that it can go from being blocked to being open, to flowing, so that you can process this in a way that it no longer holds power over you. It moves through you. So envision a river. You know, when you build a dam in a river, it becomes, the water builds up and builds up and builds up there. Or like a lock. I don't know if you guys know how locks work when moving boats down like waterfalls. This event is functioning like a dam or a lock, and it has built up so much pressure on you. You think almost like it's a protective measure, like this is a structure holding this river of emotion in, holding the river of this event in, so that it doesn't wash you and take you away in its current. When in fact, it's building up more and more emotion, more and more power over you, that in a way that keeps you stuck. It keeps you from flow. What I'm hearing is that it's nearly impossible for you to execute on these dreams without opening this valve of your past and letting things flow through you, so that then you can actually let go of them. You think you're controlling it in some way by keeping it under this, these tight wraps that you have. But the truth is undoing those, allowing emotion to flow freely around this event, allowing your mind, your heart to fully explore this event or this past condition. It might hit you like a wall of water at first, because so much is built up there. And that might sound scary to you, but it's really a matter of time. Do you want to deal with it now, or do you want to keep pushing it off later and later and later, and the water is going to continue to build up? That wall of water will only gain power with time, the more time you put off. So this really is a situation of deal with this now. It's better now than later to unblock this. Some of you, I want to say too, this is about something you actually feel nostalgic about. It's not even a past traumatic event. It's something that you feel so attached to in your past. Like, I could have been this opportunity for me. Oh, that I'm so nostalgic for that opportunity. That was something so special, and I let it slip by, or I failed in some way, or that person got away. Or if I'd only done this, I would have this relationship with my mother or my father. It's a nostalgia. It's like, oh, everything was so good and I screwed it up, or life turned in a direction that I didn't want it to turn. And now I'm just frozen in the moment before that turn happened, when everything felt possible for me, when potential was big, wide open. You feel attached to the possibility then. It's ironic, because what you're doing by trying to freeze that moment of past possibility, you're trapping yourself in the present moment, disconnected from the potential of the present moment. You could recreate this moment now. You could recreate potential and possibility now. But because you're so focused and attached to this past possibility, this past potential, it's blinding you to your current potential, to your current possibility, even if your heart is trying to lead you there, or your imagination is trying to lead you there. It feels almost fruitless, because this is keeping you from acting on that imagination that you have, that adventure happening in your heart. The advice here is to act more than anything. The advice is action, pile one. Knight of Cups needs Knight of Wands. And this isn't about thinking. We don't have a Knight of air here. Knight of Swords, in other words. Saying air, but yeah, Knight of Swords. A Knight of Swords is in here. Knight of Pentacles is in here. There is nothing that you need to figure out in any sort of logical sense. Logic, thinking, planning, strategy has no place here, which I'm sure is strange to hear, considering the conditions of how so many of us believe the world works, what we've been conditioned to believe culturally about how the world works, how success works, how progress works. You have cups and wands. That is your heart. This is your soul. When you can combine the power of your imaginative, creative heart with the fire of your soul, of your gut that drives you, pushes you to action. This is the action combined with the reflection. And that is when you create an aligned adventure for yourself. Nights are about adventure. That is when you create an aligned adventure for yourself. It leads you. It's one of instinct and following your heart, not one of planning and strategizing and making sure all your bases are covered before you move. This is you co-creating with the universe. You stepping out and expecting the universe to bring the path up to your feet. The only way to move out of this is to actually take action. And it doesn't even matter what that action is. Whether you're acting on the actual dream you have, or you're acting on processing this thing in your past, letting go of this thing in your past, feeling the disappointment, the mourning of this thing in your past. Whatever that is, whatever action comes to mind when I say that this is a block and you're like, I know I have to do this, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to put that off. That action that you have that instinct to put off, that is the action that you need to take. Whatever the action is, it's just take action. Because the worst thing is doing nothing at all, is just maintaining the status quo. Even if the next step you take, no, let me rephrase this. The next step you take doesn't have to be the step that leads you to the destination. The next step you take just needs to lead you to step number 2, which just needs to lead you to step number 3. The path unfolds before you as you move. Your only part of the contract is moving, is actually taking each step, and then seeing where your next intended step is. Now, this is, I'm going to pull just a few more cards. This, where you are right now, for whatever reason, you have this inspiration in your heart, you have this, your imagination's going crazy, you have this crush on something, on someone, on a life that you envision for yourself, whatever that is, it's happening at a destined time. It's happening at a precise moment when you are only halfway through the journey. The wheel has yet another half to turn. Another 180 degrees to turn. The story is not written yet, and anything is possible at this halfway point. Things can literally be turned on its head right now, and you are on the cusp of it because you have so much built up inside you. You have so much of this internal world explored, so much reflection, so many dreams, so many hopes. There is so much potential inside you that is yet to be realized on the outside. And that can all be realized on the outside, even if none of it is now, because a 180-degree turn is possible. Don't mind me swallowing. I had to drink some water. Let's pull some more cards here. Oh, strength. This is going to take such strength to overcome. Pile 1. That is not reason to do it. Sorry, not reason not to do it. This is also coming out because this destined time, this fated time, you are in a perfect position right now, because this isn't just saying you need strength to turn this around. You need strength to face this, to overcome this obstacle. But that you have the strength to overcome this obstacle. This strength is in you. That is maybe why you have waited until this precise moment in time when things have aligned in such a way that you have learned what you needed to learn. You've experienced things that you've experienced to arm you with the kind of strength required for looking at this, for unblocking this, for facing that wall of water, that wall of emotion that has built up there. You are strong enough to face this. And it is not a strength that is visible to other people. This is an inner strength This is a strength required for facing your own demons and realizing that they're not demons, they're not monsters, they're wild, they're part of nature, they're beautiful. They can be tamed. You can make friends with this feeling, with this disappointment, with this mourning, this grief, this trauma. It can become a friend of yours. It can become a beloved messenger of yours. It can become your partner in creating the future, the dream life, the dream relationship, the dream career that you actually want to create. One more card, Spirit. Oh, the moon. Wow, this pile one, I want to know what is going on with you. Feel free to comment below and share if you feel inspired to. The moon. The action that comes to mind for you, or the action that maybe you're getting from this reading, like, this is the first thing to come up for me. I have to do that? That seems like it's not the right thing to do. Some of you are doubting this already. You're already like, that seems wrong, or that doesn't seem big enough, or that doesn't seem like an action. That's the moon at work. This action that you take may not seem to be what it actually is. It may seem to be maybe less valuable, hold less potential than it actually does. You may think the action is something else, and then you're going to realize in the coming days, the more you reflect on this, oh, that's not the action at all. This action is not what it appeared to be at first to me. It's looking different in the light of the moon versus the light of day. What do you see when you are in your shadow versus when you are in light, in your light? That skews our vision. Sometimes what we see in shadow, our fears, our doubts, are helpful for us. They can be helpful in ways that we don't expect. They're not helpful in that our fear is like trying to tell us, our fears tell us to avoid doing something that's good for us. And then we're like, okay, I won't do that thing that's good for me. Rather, they shed light on the conditioning that led to that fear. Why are we afraid of doing this good thing for us? Why are we afraid of facing that? Why does it hold power over us? Our fears can tell us a lot about our wiring, our conditioning, our psychology. In fact, they can lead us to the very things that we need to do. Kind of like cognitive behavioral therapy. The thing that we doubt, the thing that we're afraid of, is exactly the thing that we need to face. It's not the survival response, the protective response always that it necessarily appears to be. We think that we're afraid of something because it's going to hurt us. Sometimes that's true, sometimes it's not. Sometimes the thing we're afraid of is the thing that will liberate us, not hurt us. That is what this moon energy is about. Not being able to see something because we are seeing it through the lens of shadow. If what you see in shadow matches what you see in light, that is a good sign it is the truth. But if what you see in shadow does not match what you see in the light, that dichotomy can teach you so much about where your blocks are, what is stopping you, how you are limited. This action may surprise you. When you feel confident, when you feel strong, when you feel like you are standing in your light, what is the action that comes to mind? That is the action to be believed. Also, some of you, this action might come to you in a dream. This action might come to you in a time when your defenses are down and you are more in your subconscious self, whether that is while asleep, dreaming, in meditation. It could come to you in a dream, it could come to you in a nightmare. Your subconscious could be speaking to you from behind the veil about this action, could reveal this action to you. It also could be that this action is something that happens only in your subconscious, meaning this is something that you do when you're in a state of hypnosis. That's the first thing that's coming to mind here. A state of hypnotherapy. I hope this was helpful, Pile 1. This is really such a beautiful reading. Comment below, share, open your heart to me and tell me anything that came up for you in this reading. I love to hear from you guys. I love you very much. If you'd love to support this work, support this channel, please like, subscribe, click the link to my Patreon below. You can support me for $3 a month, and a little goes a very long way. The more support I get, the more readings I can do like this. Sending you so much light and love, blessings. Thank you. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your timeless pick a pile reading. This is about what you need to hear right now when you are finding this, no matter when it is. You picked the aragonite, this beautiful kind of warm pink crystal. Set that right here for your reading. I highly recommend you look up the meanings of this crystal if you are curious, or maybe you already know them. I'm going to call in spirit, call in your guides. What are the messages for Pile 2 for this pick a pile reading? What does Pile 2 most need to hear right now? Divine messages for Pile 2. Temperance is our first card. The messages for Pile 2. Ooh. Okay, that was too many cards, Pile 2. Let's see if any of them come out again. Oh my gosh, Pile 2. That was too many. Spirit is having a laugh with me today. There we go. Okay, Pile 2. 5. 5 of Wands. Wow. That art, wow, the art on this in this deck is so smart. Give us another card, Spirit. Please give us another card, Spirit. Another card for Pile 2. What are the messages for Pile 2? Thank you. 10 of Cups. Wow, Pile 2. This is exciting. Normally I start reading here. That was a huge pile. But I think I want to just pull our 3 more cards if possible. There we go. 9 of Pentacles. You know what? I'm gonna stop right here. This is too much to work with. I'm like dying to start talking. Pile 2, you are in a position right now where either you are very balanced, you are seeing things in almost a miraculous way, where you are able to balance your mind with the mind of another. You're able to balance your mind with the collective mind. This is going to be different for some of you. So some of you, hear me out, whom that's resonating with. Let's just keep talking about that for a moment, and then I'm going to speak with you other members of Pile 2. So some of you are feeling you are balanced. You are feeling you're very balanced between your head and your heart, your masculine, feminine energies, your active, passive energies. You're able to hold space for duality, which is the existence, which is what it means to exist in life. Life is duality. So when we hold space for duality, when we can accept duality, that gives us a kind of superpower acceptance of life, which so much of the time we are struggling with. We are resisting that kind of acceptance of what is, what already is. You are in a place right now, Pile 2, where you are able to accept what is. And I think it probably has something to do with the fact that you are experiencing success right now. You are experiencing tangible blessings and abundance in your life that hasn't come easy for you. It has actually come at the cost of great sacrifice, great hard work, compromise. You have fought for the blessings that you have right now. And the beauty of that, not having those things come easily to you, has given you this kind of moderation with how you approach life, this kind of balance with how you approach life, so that even great success won't throw you off kilter. It won't make the pendulum swing in one direction. It's like you can experience great success, you can experience great failure, and still remain even-keeled, because you know that these are just conditions. These changes come and go like the wind. They aren't a reflection on anything within yourself or anything about your true nature or anything about truth. They are both important. They're two sides of the same exact coin. Turning the coin on one side doesn't mean that the other side of the coin doesn't exist. They always exist together. And you have this awareness right now. You working so hard for the success that you've gotten has given you such a healthy perspective on life. I want to say a divine perspective on life. You know, Temperance in other decks, we see the angel, right? The angel with one foot in the water, one foot on land, doing this impossible task of pouring water that defies gravity from one cup to another. The cups in this are our heads. They are our minds. They are our beings. It's more than just being able to split, be balanced in our emotions, the waves of feelings, to allow those things to allow our feelings to defy gravity, even when our conditions are very bad or very good. When we can keep that water flowing at a diagonal, that's when magic happens. Same is true for whatever flows in our two minds that we have, our two selves that we have, our light self, our shadow self, our masculine self, our feminine self. When we are able to balance those contents within ourselves, we stay more grounded, we stay rooted when things around us change and happen, as they will always do. Change is constant, right? No matter whether it's good or bad. Now, those of you who do feel this kind of balance, you're in this state of balance. Others, for whatever reason, there's conflict. There's conflict around you. It's conflict that's either aimed at you while you seem to be in this impossibly balanced place. Maybe others are saying, like, how are you this way? This is happening, this is happening, this is happening. You're too calm, you're too balanced, you're thinking magically, when really, you know, Pile 2, you're holding space for duality. The holding space for the duality is the nature of life. Someone else is wanting you to say, isn't this so bad? Or isn't this so good? And you're like, it is what it is. It's life, and it won't sway me. I hold space for all of it. Others of you, I'm seeing this conflict arise inside yourself. Even though there is a part of you, and this is really getting into, this like an inception of duality, because you do have this balance. You have this balance between light and dark, masculine, feminine, the parts of you and the rest of the world. And at the same time, there's conflict in you. And isn't this an example of temperance in itself? You take conflict with your own balance. You take conflict with your own impossible way of holding space for duality, of moderation, of walking this kind of this miraculous middle path that feels so impossible to human beings most of the time. In a way, it's making you two-faced, because in one breath, you're able to hear your divine self saying, everything's fine. Doesn't matter what's happening. Doesn't matter if it's storming, if it's sunny. Everything is fine. And then there's the other part of you, the ego, that's freaking out. This is causing conflict. Even freaking out when everything is good. Even freaking out when you have this kind of success and achievement. There is a part of you, your other face, that is saying, but when is this going to go away? When's the next change happening? I can't depend on this. I can't rely on this. I can't take joy in this. What I'm hearing, pile 2, is you take joy. You can take joy for the sake of taking joy. If you can take joy in this, you can also take joy when you don't have this. That is the key. It isn't like, oh, I'm experiencing this. I have to be like stone. I can't enjoy myself when things are going well. I have to fear when I'm going to lose it. I have to be a blank slate no matter what my conditions are. No. The question is, what is the emotion you want to be balanced in all the time? What is the state that you want to be balanced in all the time? Is it peace? Is it joy? It's about maintaining that regardless of your conditions. Not like feeling nothing, or having to have conditions justify why you feel each of those emotions. You can take joy in the good things the same way that you can take joy in the bad things when they happen. Bad things, right? Now, others of you, you're struggling to maintain this temperance. I mean, maybe this is really the same thing. I'm just kind of flipping it a little bit. You're struggling to have this kind of balance. You're struggling to, maybe your success is swinging that pendulum. It's bringing you to a place where you're like, I'm obsessed with my life now. I'm ecstatic. Things are going well. My ego is so nourished that I really, oh God, I can't pick this up. I really struggle to keep my perspective wide. Sometimes when things are going well for us or things are going bad for us, our ego makes our focus go like this, to be a pinpoint. Our perspective becomes so narrow. All we can see is that good thing. All we can see is that bad thing. Temperance is keeping your mind literally open. It's seeing all perspectives. It's holding space for everything. And you may be finding yourself disconnecting from that wider perspective, putting so much focus on this good thing that's happening, that you're actually losing your connection to truth. You're actually losing your connection to the divine. The ego talks and talks and talks to us, but that's no guarantee that what the ego is saying is ever aligned with truth. So those of you who are struggling to maintain this in spite of success, or I don't know why I said in spite of those of you struggling to maintain this in a time of achievement, success, seeing your hard work pay off, that is what is causing this conflict. But for those of you experiencing this conflict is so small. Talk about that focus being narrow. This conflict is nothing. There is a whole universe out there of things happening. And it's like you have to create another person to argue with here. You have to create another voice to argue with. But this is fighting with wands. This is fighting with sticks. This is just conflict for the thrill of competition. It isn't actually something that could destroy you. And yet maybe you're struggling with temperance, with balance, is tricking you into believing that this conflict could destroy you, that this conflict could take all of this from you, like that. I want to pull more cards before we start talking about this 10 of Cups. What I will say, pile 2, is things are really working out for you. I mean, you are headed toward this kind of happily ever after abundance, emotional abundance, that make it so that it doesn't matter whether you're in 9 of Pentacles or 10 of Pentacles, whether you have the evidence of that physical abundance. You are working your way to your state of moderation, your state of balance, your center always being joy, always being fulfillment, regardless of the conditions. I think that this conflict is coming up now to test this. It's coming up now so that it can help shape this kind of emotional default for you. It's shaping that. It's helping to sharpen that for you, sharpen that into focus for you. Sometimes, so many of us say, oh, I want that. I want to be able to be happy regardless of what my conditions are. I want to be able to always connect with joy and feel gratitude and recognize abundance in my life, emotional abundance. Always feel that emotional abundance. But then when we're given actual opportunities, when the universe is like, great, here's an opportunity to practice doing that, or we tell ourselves, nothing's working out for me, I'll never be this happy. And then God's like, I'm literally giving you an opportunity to get this right now. I'm literally giving you an opportunity to work on that right now. Spirit, give us some more cards, please. I'm going to modify this 5 of Wands and this 10 of Cups. Oh, wow. This conflict is not to be believed, pile 2. This conflict, whatever the conflict is, that you are taking so seriously, it is a trap. It is a trap. It is something that will continue to imprison you the more you engage with it. And it's never going to be the thing that you beat in the way that you work to beat it every time, that you try to conquer it every time, because whatever you've been doing is what keeps you in the pattern of facing it over and over again. What I'm hearing is that this is a time to just step out of the game, to take a step off the hamster wheel, because you'll never win the hamster wheel. You'll never cross the finish line when you're in a hamster wheel here, and that's what this conflict is. It's a trick to keep you on the wheel. When actually what you could say is, I don't want to play. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to play anymore. And that's when the devil loses. That's when the devil really loses. The devil is trying to trick you into thinking that's not even an option. This is conflict that you have to win, that you have to come out victorious. When actually you winning is you simply taking yourself out of the race. It's taking yourself out of the competition. It's saying, this isn't my battle. I don't need to fight this battle. I don't need to engage in this battle. I don't need to listen to what this other voice is telling me. I don't need to, I can listen to that part, to that other person. I can listen to that part of myself, that voice in myself. I can hear it out. I can ask it questions. I can listen, and then I can say, "Thank you for sharing. I'm not gonna do anything about that. But it sounds really hard for you. I hear you, and I'm sorry that you're suffering in that way." This is a cycle. This conflict is a cycle for you, pile 2. This is about you stepping out of this cycle and claiming what is already yours. There is a new beginning in this 10 of Cups for you, where suddenly you see all the stars aligning for yourself. There's rainbows in your eyes. You see your abundance, you see your blessings for the truths that they really are. And you see that they can never be taken away from you. You recognize them as your default, and you're able to feel gratitude for them. What I'm hearing is that there's so many of you afraid of losing what you cannot lose. This can be yours at any moment, pile 2. And as soon as you realize what is already yours, that is when you have a new beginning in the real tangible possibilities of your life. Because you're no longer succumbing to old belief patterns, old negative belief patterns about yourself that force you to then be afraid of losing all of the success that you have, of having to start over. When you step out of these belief patterns, your whole perspective changes in a way that's like, I will always have the success that I have. And when that ends, I get to do it all over again. I get to have a new beginning. I get to actually gain something new. You don't focus on the loss of the thing. You focus on the next thing that you do get to gain. There's a beautiful new beginning happening for you, pile 2. And it's no coincidence that your emotional abundance precedes the physical abundance. That you tending the garden of your heart is what makes the garden in your yard actually grow. It starts with tending this inner garden. Then it's almost like putting glasses on that allow you to see the truth of your life. For as long as we refuse to wear these glasses, we can be ruled by devil energy. We are tricked into seeing our lives through certain lenses that don't serve us, that don't lead us to the things that we want, that don't tell us the truth about ourselves, about others, that recognize the light in others, recognize our commonality with others, allow us to be generous in how we process the things that happen to us and the things that we go through. That perspective is a gift. The perspective of emotional abundance, of recognizing our blessings, our inner joy, the love inside us, being connected to that. That is like a switch that then turns on so many other kinds of abundance in our lives. The outside begins to mirror the inside because we see the outside differently. But it takes having a different set of eyes. It takes changing ourselves. Changing something about ourselves, tending to what we are in order to experience our world differently. The devil will have you continue believing the answer is outside of yourself. The answer is winning that conflict against whatever the enemy is, whatever you see the enemy is, whatever you see is the thing disagreeing with you or coming up against you. If you can only change that thing, that outside thing, then you'll be happy. That is the lie, pile 2. That is the lie. And the devil will continue to do all it can to trick you into believing this, taking this as truth without question. But this is two-faced. This is not genuine. This is not honest. Even when it comes from you. That is your shadow self speaking through your lips. You have such good things ahead of you, pile 2. And it rests on you stepping out of this race, stepping off of this wheel, saying no instead of engaging, instead of falling for the tricks of playing the same game that you've played. If I can get this, if I can do this, then I'll be happy. This is what you need to be liberated from. This is what you can be liberated from right now, because you are in this unique position. Temperance, 9 of Pentacles, where your mind is open. There is something happening with you right now, an acceptance of what life actually is. That allows you to experience life differently. I would love to hear how this looks specifically for you in your life, pile 2. If you feel called to, please open up, share your heart in the comments below. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please consider doing so. Your support means everything to me. And if you'd like to help me do more of these readings for you, in addition to liking, subscribing, commenting, check out the link to my Patreon in the link below. You can support this work for $3 a month and also get so many bonuses, so many benefits, especially as I continue to gain more support. That will give me the resources to do more for you. I love you very much. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being here at Starchaeology Tarot. And I'll see you next time. Hello, pile 3. You chose this beautiful, sparkly amethyst. Highly encourage looking into the properties of amethyst crystal and seeing if any of those meanings are resonant with you at this time. So I want to take a moment, call in your masters, your guides, source energy, spirit. This is your timeless pick a pile reading. Whenever you are finding it is when you need it. And this is the message that you need to hear right now. Way too many cards, spirit. Let's start small. What are the messages for pile 3 that will best align them with their highest selves, their highest path, their highest good? 8 of Cups. Nine of Cups. Wow. Okay, let's do one more card. And I'll pull another round. Spirit, what is the rest of this message for pile 3? We're ready for it whenever you are, Spirit. What is this message for pile 3? There we go. Oh my gosh, you guys, do you remember when this came out? And I said, that's too many cards, Spirit. Well, she's out again. Okay, we have almost all our cards. I'm going to pull one more. Might as well, right? Sometimes when we're waiting, it's good to just focus on your intention. See what comes up to you, what comes up for you when we're waiting for an answer. Sometimes if you're unsure what your question is or what your focus is right now, wherever your thoughts lead you is a good compass for what needs your attention. What's the last card, Spirit? Last card, Spirit, come on. Okay, that's way too many. This always happens with me. One more card, Spirit. We're going to pull it. One more card, Spirit. Okay. Wow. Pile 3. Wow. You are finding this reading at a time when you're on the precipice of a huge change. It's no wonder to me that you were called to this reading, or when you're seeking answers right now at this point in your life, and you came across this reading, because we often seek answers when we sense the biggest change ahead of us, and we start to feel afraid, we start to feel resistant towards that change. It's usually a pretty good indicator that something very good can happen, especially when there is great fear. 8 of Cups. You have a nagging feeling about something, Pile 3, something that you emotionally know. You have the emotional intelligence to know what the truth of your situation is right now. You know something about yourself, your life, your job, your path, your body. And this intelligence is coming from your heart. It isn't coming from your mind. It isn't coming from the evidence of your eyes, ears, nose. It is coming from your heart. And oftentimes emotional intelligence is the easiest type of intelligence for us to just ignore, write off, because we don't have, I think, the language to talk about it in a way that legitimizes it to us right now, especially to inquiring scientific minds. Working in the world of the 3D, it's easy to prove something or disprove something. It's harder when we're working with the energetic world, quantum world, the 5D. So much that we don't understand about how heart resonance works, how heart wisdom works, the relationship between our heart and our mind. And it's extremely easy to downplay emotional intelligence, when actually sometimes that intelligence can tell us things that our mind intelligence simply cannot. It doesn't have the ability to do so, to detect those types of things. You're in a situation that maybe on paper looks fine. It looks great. Other people looking at your life are like, that's an ideal life right now, or that's a great situation. No reason to leave. But we tend to define reason only by that kind of intellectual intelligence, not heart intelligence. So this is a situation where you're like, it looks fine on paper, but I know that it's reached its end. Or I know it's not right for me anymore. I know this isn't a fit for some reason anymore. You know it on an energetic, on a heart level. And so it makes it very hard to talk about because you can't point to these reasons of logic, of evidence. When trying to convince your mind of the necessity to change or to leave, to move on. But you're at a point where you can no longer put your head in the sand about it. You're feeling what you're feeling, and you've already moved on emotionally from the situation. You've checked out. And this is a time where you want your body to follow, or your body is needing to follow. The physical action needs to follow the emotional action. In this case, it's a physical reaction to an emotional action. And those things right now are not aligned. That emotional nagging is happening to you, and it's trying to propel you towards change. Now, part of the reason why you could be resisting is because there's heartbreak involved. There is some sort of sorrow in this change. Sorrow does not mean it's bad. Sorrow does not mean it's wrong. If anything, it means that the experience mattered. The experience was important. It had value. And so, of course, saying goodbye to it, changing it, feels almost like a betrayal to the experience. As if in order to make something worthwhile, we have to commit to it forever. And that's just not true. The only person we betray is ourselves and others when we refuse to listen to heart wisdom. When we remain blind to heart wisdom, when we ignore that, when we ignore our emotional intelligence, we actually cause more pain. We betray ourselves, we betray others, we betray our higher selves who are trying to communicate with us through this wisdom. We end up trapping ourselves even more in a situation that will only become harder to change, harder to leave. Some of you, it's not even that there is heartbreak or sorrow in this. It's the fear of heartbreak or sorrow. It's the fear of causing heartbreak or sorrow in others by changing, by leaving, by disrupting the status quo. And this pain is keeping you really in this state of discord. This is discord between what you know emotionally and what physically you're doing. Your emotionality, your physicality are not aligned. They are not on the same page. In a way, it's like you're living two lives, your inner life and your outer life. And that could be also causing heartbreak within you. That is a betrayal of the self. It's more of a betrayal to not act on this, to not allow yourself to merge, to not allow your outer world merge with your inner world. Whether you are feeling great pain, you're fearing great pain, you're fearing causing great pain, this pain, you label what it is. This betrayal, this sorrow, you label what it is. That is what is the result of being in this place of discord, or it's what is causing this place of discord. Now, what is ironic? Wow, some of you have found an important partner in your life. You have connected with an incredibly emotionally intelligent individual. Someone who brings out your own emotional intelligence. Actually, some of you, this is a partner. Some of you, this is you. Some of you, this is you stepping into your emotional sovereignty. And it's the honoring of this emotional sovereignty, or the honoring of your feelings for this person, that is a dream come true to you. This is a wish fulfilled. Some of you see that this is a wish fulfilled, but you're like, I didn't expect that I would have to change my life for it. I didn't expect that I would have to undergo some transformation. Can't I just know what I know on the inside and just keep everything status quo on the outside? Because it's so scary to rock the boat. But you asked for it, you had this wish. And you have to remember, pile 3, the wish was planted in your heart because it came from something greater than you. When we have desires are not inherently bad. That's some puritanical BS. Desires, wishes are planted in our heart by our higher selves, by divine energy. Because they serve as compasses to continue realigning us with our highest paths. Sometimes a desire takes us in a direction that's like, that was a mistake. Still a very important desire to explore, because it was going through that mistake that then led you to the wisdom you have now, the perspective you have now, the empathy you have now, the depth you have now. This is a situation where this dream come true is actually incredibly positive. This is emotional sovereignty. This is you honoring your creativity, honoring your love, having a partner who honors your creativity, your love, someone who sees you emotionally, who loves you through your light and dark selves. Some of you, this is a literal partner, the partner of your dreams you have asked for. Others of you, this is you being that partner to yourself. You offering that kind of self-love that you have been deprived of, or that you've never quite been able to muster for yourself. You can do it for others, you can't bring it for yourself. Now you can. Now you are coming into contact with this kind of wish fulfillment, this dream come true, this emotional dream come true, just your cup being filled to the brim, and you marveling at your blessings and saying, I've never been this happy in my life. And here's the kicker, pile 3. This is not something that is going to lead you down a path of just learning a lesson, an important lesson. You know, like I was saying, a desire that is planted within you so that you can experience something hard and that makes you a fuller, wiser person. This is something that actually leads to lasting happiness, fulfillment, gratitude, emotional abundance, steady joy. Not just like a highlight, not a dream wedding or a dream vacation or getting that the moment you snag that dream job. It's something that it's steady. It's joy, gratitude in your day to day. It's seeing your daily simple life with rainbows in your eyes. Seeing how the stars align for you in the simplest things. It's a simple joy, which is steady joy. It's not a spike. It's not, a hit of dopamine. It's steady, real joy you can rely on. And it's paired with victory. You're victorious in gaining this in your life. And this wish fulfillment leads you to this kind of victory. This victory gives you a perspective, so you're not just seeing your life through the limits of your human form as this particular identity, this particular ego. you gain perspective that floats to the heavens. You gain a perspective that separates from yourself, so that you always have this wider perspective of life that allows you to have this kind of steady joy and happiness. There's something about this love or this creativity, this emotional sovereignty, where you are serving yourself and also serving others. You have a duty to serving others, and this wish fulfillment somehow is linked to that. Serving another or serving others in your life. Maybe it's also serving yourself, right? That unlocks this. That unlocks this kind of perspective. And that's really the biggest victory here. It's victory in this steady joy, this steady happiness, but it's also victory in that you release a part of yourself to God. You don't hang on so tightly to the old vision you had of your life. Your vision expands. You still have one foot on the ground. You still are able to see the world through the lens of ego, because we need that to survive. We need that to survive as humans. We need that human lens. But you don't hold on so tightly. You give one of those eyes to God, to your higher self, so that you're able to balance better. You're able to see things from different angles and not be so tightly attached to the narrow vision sometimes that ego provides for us. This allows you to see the whole world, to see the galaxy, to see your role in that and your place in that, which often, more than not, gives you so much reason to be grateful and to be awed by the magic of your life, by the blessings of your life, and by the potential that's available to you. Look how so much potential always available to you. This is so overwhelmingly positive, pile 3. I would love to hear how this looks specifically for you in your life. So please comment below if you feel inspired to. If you got something out of this reading, something was resonant, what didn't resonate wasn't meant for you. But if there was anything resonant, I would so appreciate your support. You can do that by liking, subscribing to this channel, Starchaeology Tarot, commenting, sharing, and for those of you who really want to see the channel grow, see me doing more readings to help serve you better, please consider becoming a patron for only $3 a month. It's peanuts. You can do that on the link below to my Patreon, and your support really helps me go it gives me the resources to really do so much more. The littlest support goes a very long way. So please, if you feel called to do that, please check that out. And Patreon also opens the door, gives you access to a lot of bonus content, bonus readings, which will also continue to grow the more support I get. So I am so grateful to you in advance for even considering. I love you so much. It is so wonderful to get to connect with you here in this space. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, for being here, for giving me your attention and focus. I'm sending you love and light, pile 3, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.